take the roll?
Chairman Pranzo,
Present.
Vice Chair Frost,
Present.
Commissioner Schmidt,
Present.
Commissioner Simmons,
Present.
and I believe Commissioner Prow will be absent tonight.
Very good. Would we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, discussion, approval, disapproval of the minutes of the regular meeting conducted January 17, 2019. Do we have any comments?
I make the motion that you accept the motions? I'll make the motion that we accept the meetings of January 17th as submitted.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Schmidt, second by Commissioner Simmons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Public hearings, PZ 1915. A zone change request by Alfred Salaya to change the zoning on approximately 0.21 acres located on the southwest corner of Main Street and 20th Street. From neighborhood office to highway business commercial zoning. APN 202090010. Planning and Zoning Commission may recommend approval with conditions, denial of the request. Is there a presentation?
There is, sir.
Would you care to do it?
I will do a brief one for you.
Please.
You've just read over the specifics as part of the agenda title. Again, this are properties of 470 South Main Street for reference related to business. This is where Curly Moe's Barbershop is. It's currently zoned neighborhood office. Rezoning request is to highway business commercial, and of course this is Highway 79 loop through downtown, or the business loop. One of the reasons for requesting the change, or there's one basic reason, and that is there are currently 2 vacancies. It's a 3-suite building. The 2 vacancies in the building that the applicant would wish to fill, and that the existing business, Curly Moe's, is a non-conforming use. It is actually not a permitted use within the neighborhood office zoning district. So this would bring the use into compliance and widen the opportunities for the property owner to bring businesses into that structure. The structure has been evaluated by fire department and the building official as being sound and occupiable, so there are no issues in that regard. Just for familiarity with North Up, we've outlined the property. It's immediately across the street from Napa Auto on the north, vacant property to the east. Behind it is where the town's water tower is, and then as you go to the south, there's a historic home and then a variety of miscellaneous uses, most of which tied to the school district. That's the current configuration. The building in the front or on the east that points towards Main is vacant, as is the portion of the building all the way on the west side that basically faces up towards 20th Street. We have taken care of the public outreach, mailing notices to property owners within 300 feet, advertisement posted in local newsletter. The public notice sign is on the site. Citizen review meeting was held last Thursday evening at 5:30. There were no attendees other than the property owner himself. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the general plan. The general plan is not property specific. This area is generally delineated as highway business. Rezoning would facilitate, again, ongoing revitalization and redevelopment along Main Street by bringing new tenants into the structure. Sample of some of the B2 uses that could be allowed or brought in there is just general retail, laundry, office, daycare, bar, lounge, automotive service, bank, galleries. I mean, there's a wide variety of things could happen in this property. Recommendation is favorable by staff. The development of the site will be in conformance to all applicable, these would be conditions of approval, all applicable town code and ordinances. That would be building codes and anything related to that, should that be necessary, depending on the ultimate user of the property. Property owner agrees to weigh claims for diminution of value pursuant to Prop 207. Just discussed that with him. We will have him sign the Prop 207 waiver prior to the meeting and adoption, should the council approve this later this month, and take care of that signature, any additional conditions that the commission might feel is necessary. Mr. Salaya is here this evening, should you have any questions specifically of him.
I'll open it up to the commission. Do we have any questions?
Question. How long has that property been zoned NO?
Looking back through the records, it's kind of hard to tell. There was some significant designations of zonings that were happening in the 90s. And I would say maybe 96, maybe before that even. It might have been historical on the property, but that's the first time I've seen anything definitive, which has been limiting. There hasn't been many businesses in there. That front unit that faces Main was being used for some training for a while, but that contract was lost by the company who was leasing it for the training. It's gone to another firm who's using it at a different facility in town. The back portion of it, I'm not sure when the last business was in it.
As far as I know, the last business from the back was carpet business.
That could be.
But that
yeah.
barber shop's been in there for
Right.
since I was.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how the designations happen. There's a lot of odd things I'm finding in the mapping and designation of zoning around downtown.
Well, it's obvious B2 fits the application much better than NO.
The only reason we're doing this is just to get that business in alignment with the rest of.
Well, that and opening up the opportunities for leasing out the other two spaces.
Exactly.
Right.
The only question I have is the handicap parking. Seems to be all the way on one end of the building, and the only business that's open is the barber shop on the other end of the building. Are we in compliance there?
Generally, yes, although just initial discussions for that back suite, that there may be an additional handicap space designated back there also for any business that goes in there.
All right.
And that's fairly simple. I mean, there is parking there already, paved parking, so it's just a matter of the striping and designation and any appropriate access through thresholds of doorways.
I'll leave that to the building official. That's why he's on the payroll.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Please.
Larry, just a quick question on the ordinance. The very bottom of it, it talks about the Proposition 207
Yes.
and references Exhibit B, which we didn't receive.
It's not signed yet, and so it would have just been a blank copy of one. It basically says that the property owner is in agreement with the rezoning as presented, and that if successful, would not come back and file claim against the town that we've reduced his property values.
Yeah, I took a couple of minutes to read the Arizona Revised Statutes reference there, and so I understand what's going on. I just didn't see it here and wondered if that was just, okay? Ready?
Actually, I think it goes the other way. Under B2, is value per square foot is more desirable.
Yes.
So we're really not in jeopardy. We're not doing anything that would cause a decrease per square foot.
Plus, it's at the applicant's request, too, not at,
Right.
so, yeah. You ready for a motion, Mr.
Now,
Chairman?
this is a public hearing. You do have to open and subsequently close the public hearing.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
So it's agendized as a public hearing. You do have to open a public hearing, and if there is testimony, take it. If there is no testimony, then you can subsequently close the public hearing and then go to a motion.
Yes, sir. So I will open up to a public at this time. Do we have any comments from the public? We have no comments from the public. I shall close comments from the public. Can we entertain a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of PZ-19-15, a zoning change request by Alfred Salea to change the zoning on approximately 0.21 acres located at the southwest corner of Main Street and 20th Street from neighborhood office to highway business commercial zoning.
Do I have a second? I'll second. I have a motion by Vice Chair Frost, second by Commissioner Schmidt, to recommend to council approval with conditions. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Presentations, future agenda items, information only. Thank you, Mr. Salaya. Take care, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, we currently have no active items for your next agenda, but that doesn't mean that can't change. I would give you a heads up, though. We have numerous PUDs that are scattered around town that have been dormant for a long time, and all of a sudden we are getting regular calls on several of them. We've already held a pre-application on one to get it renewed and get it moving again. There are several others pending. We have a meeting next Wednesday with a developer out at Mesquite Farm Ranch, whichever, that has started the plat or started building out there. They want to come in and renew their plats. Those will be coming to you. So it looks like we're going to get really busy.
Good. Well, that was fun. Moving right along, call to the public. Commission response. This is all of the public for public comment on issues within the jurisdiction of Planning and Zoning Commission. Individual commission members may respond to criticisms made, may ask staff to renew a matter raised, or may ask that a matter be put on future agenda. However, members of the commission shall not discuss or take action on any matter during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. I will close call to the public, call to the commission, current events only. Do we have any current events, gentlemen?
Mr. Chairman, just a comment on an event that happened a month ago with the historic home tour. I thought that was awesome, and your home was one of our favorites.
Thank you.
It's impressive, and we totally enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend that to whoever's watching it next year, if you missed it this year, to take advantage of that. That was really a treat. Is it appropriate in this to ask for an agenda item at some future time?
Certainly.
Okay. In light of all of the headlines that we're seeing with drought contingency plan and a water shortage and everything that we're seeing here, and with what you're explaining as some potential positive growth in our area, it might be informative for us to hear the water resources situation of the town and how it will satisfy the demands that we'll see coming to us for a growing population, probably water demands and wastewater treatment capacity. So I think that would be interesting in light of all the headlines that we're seeing lately.
Great, nice idea. Thank you. Any other comments? And I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Schmidt, second by Vice Chair Frost. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned.